Hi guys and welcome. So today I'm going to talk you through how to use the Vanguard platform, because I recently did a video of a beginner's guide to invest in that I encourage you to check out, and now I want to take you through how to actually go about this. So first of all, what you do is go into good old Google, type in Vanguard, and it should be one of the first ones. Well, it is going to be the first one that comes up. Click on the link, and here it will give you the option. Well, for me it says login. You click on the login link and you put in your username and password. If you haven't got an account, it will say open an account, and that's the process then you go through to open an account, and that'll include things like you have to supply obviously your bank account, forms of identification like your passport or driving license. So that process can take a few days to get registered, but once that process is done, that's the longest, most difficult part done of the investing process through Vanguard. So now let's have a look. I'll log in and show you what the platform actually looks like. Let's pretend you've done that process of sending off your details, registering, and now let's have a look at what the actual platform looks like. So once you're into Vanguard, you will see this. And as you can see from my portfolio, as is going on in 2022, there's a big market downturn. It happens. So you can see my portfolio is down. So when you log in, you'll obviously have zero, because if you're logging in for the first time and registering, and this is what you'll see. I think what I want to show first is how to actually invest, just basically. So if you wanted to put a lump sum amount of money in, how do you actually do that? So what you do is big red button, classic, click on the big red button. Yeah, so I've got a certain amount of money of cash in my ISA that I can invest. So what you'll do is click invest now, go through to this page. So say if you wanted to remove this investment, and when you log in you won't have any investments there, so you click add more investments. So stocks and shares they're termed equity funds in Vanguard, which is something that I didn't know, but keep an eye on. So you click on an equity fund, and say, for example, the fund that I invest in, so I invest in the S&P 500, which is marked as VUSA. Don't know why. Well, Vanguard USA, that's why. And you want to put in £200 straight off the bat, type in 200, press next. There you go, take you through, add your payment method, card details, etc. And that will go through and you'll have invested £200 in the S&P 500. It's as simple as that. Now, that is investing as a one-off payment. Let's go back here to the home page of Vanguard. Go to my account overview. So we're back to this page. So that's the account overview. So if you go into payments, you'll see I have a regular payment of £200 set on the first of the month. So I'll get paid on the last of the month. So the next day, £200 comes out. I try as much as possible not to notice it, and it just comes out and goes straight into the Vanguard platform and is invested into the S&P 500. It means I've got less chance of, well, one, noticing the money's gone, and two, less chance of backing out if it's a regular payment. If you've got to do it actively and remember, okay, I've got to do it this time, you're going to forget, you're going to back out. But if it's a regular direct debit, it's much better. You might also back out more likely when the market is in a downturn, which then means that you're actually backing out of being able to buy more shares of your money. It's actually better to buy shares when the market is on a downturn. And that's why people say buy the dip. So regular monthly payment, say my example, £200 in the S&P 500, and you say when you want it to start by. So you want to start, say, the 2nd, I don't know, February this year. So, and what it comes up with is it says you can only put in an amount of 8 business days in the future. So you'll have to put in whatever date comes up for you, and maybe you can change it after that point to the perfect date that suits you if you're doing it soon. And what you do is click next. There you go, goes through the process, the fact that you're putting the money in, press submit, and it'll all go through. It really is as simple as that in terms of investing on the platform. So the reason I invest in the Vanguard platform is primarily because of security and safety that I feel being invested in a platform that is so long-standing. John Bogle actually developed and pioneered the index fund in around 1975, and also obviously is the founder of the Vanguard platform, the Vanguard as an organisation. So it's a very secure platform in comparison to some of these newer platforms, and the fact that I'm investing hundreds of thousands of pounds of my money into the platform is going to be held on the platform. I want to make sure it's as secure as possible. So that's why I invest in Vanguard. There are downsides. There's no app with Vanguard in comparison to some other sites that you can get index funds investments on. But the thing about that is I actually think that's better because it makes it much harder for me to actually invest and look at my investments and how they're doing, which means I'm less likely to, when the market's on a downturn, take my money out. I think you shouldn't check your platform or figure or how the markets are doing and how your money is doing all the time, because if you do that, you make it much more likely that you're going to panic if you're losing money. And as I say, then you might, for example, when the market's on a dip, not put that £200 in a month like I do, and that will mean you're actually not buying the shares when they're at their cheapest. But yeah, so that's one of the main reasons that I invest in the Vanguard platform. There are other platforms that have lower fees. Vanguard has very, very low fees, like 0.02%, something along those lines. I mean, there is Fidelity as a platform that has, I think, no fees for some of their index funds. But the main reason I go with Vanguard is that trustworthiness, that long-standing nature. So now I'm going to take you through how to find what funds you might want to invest in and all the different funds. So what you do is you go on to what we offer, and you go down to the full list of funds. Now, if you're someone that just doesn't even want to do any research about funds and you just want to make sure that your money is invested in something and it's going to grow and let someone else do all that, they have the life strategy funds on Vanguard, which have 20, 40, 60, 80 and 100% equity funds. So that's how they're split between equity, so stocks and shares, and bonds. Obviously, bonds are less volatile than stocks and shares generally. So they have those life strategy funds. Obviously, I invest in, they have a number of different funds, and I encourage you to go through the Vanguard platform to have a look at their different funds. And obviously, I invest in the S&P 500. You can refine it here. So you might just want equity, so stocks and shares funds, and just index funds. So you can come down here and you see European, global, UK, so the FTSE 100, which is sort of the equivalent of the S&P in the UK, and then the USA. And that's how you sort of find the funds that you want to invest in. It gives you different ratings of risk, and you click on the fund when you go to the investing part, and you invest however much money you want to do. It really is that simple. One of the key things I did want to say is that, so I'll go to my platform, my overview, sorry. And one of the things I did want to say is that you will have available cash once you invested if you're investing regularly through direct debit. And that's because shares won't be, unless you can make it, shares won't be an exact amount. So say you put in £200, 3 shares might be £187. So then you'd have £13 difference. And that then just goes straight into the cash on the platform, and that will build up. And over time you can decide if you want to invest that. But it is good sometimes to have that cash on the platform because there are fees that are taken out of that. But you can make it so that your fees instead are taken out of your bank account straight from it, so that you don't lose any money that's on the platform that's invested. Because if there is no cash in this, then they will take the money from your investments to pay for the fees. But yeah, that's literally it. That's how you invest. That's how you find the funds you want, and you can go in it and analyze all the funds as well when you click on them. I want this to be a short video, so I'll just do that briefly. But yeah, if you found this useful, please like, subscribe, and I'll speak to you guys soon.